like? Have they been pretty competitive?
Practices has been very competitive coming up to the first game of the season. They've been very intense. Really just been focusing on, the little things, the little details, especially on the defensive end. But, you know, we're going to be definitely mentally, physically prepared when it comes down to the first game.
You eager to play?
Hmm?
You eager to play?
Definitely. I'm definitely excited to play, my first collegiate game. It's definitely, just I want to thank my Lord and Savior, just giving me blessing me with the talent to be able to play at this type of level. And so definitely excited to play.
Keontae, is there an area, you talked about it a couple weeks ago when we talked to you about the change from high school to college and just maybe the physical toll that it takes. Is there an area where you think you're maybe more prepared than when you got to Baylor?
I just think that I've gotten really stronger, just being, more balanced with my body, and just learning how to use my body in different scenarios. So I definitely feel like I've definitely adjusted well, throughout the months that I've been here. But, I'm always looking for somewhere to improve. So, I still got a lot of room to grow.
Flo, you've done this a time or two. What do you see as the main thing you guys need to accomplish during the preseason before you get to conference play?
It's a blank sheet. We got a lot of stuff we got to accomplish. For me, my biggest thing is just as long as we play hard, we compete, regardless of who we're playing against. And, yeah, that's all I can say as a fifth year.
Well, you guys are picked to win the Big 12. You're ranked 5th in the AP poll. Do you like those kind of expectations?
For us, we don't really focus on that, even though we're appreciative of such, recognizing the talents our team has. But for us, we just pride ourselves with just going out there and playing to the best of our ability. And I feel like with this year's group, we have the capability to do that.
Flo, obviously each team is different, but you've seen what a championship team looks like, the qualities that they have. Even early on in the season, what are those maybe small qualities that this team has that you say, okay, those are the things we need to get where we need to go?
From that note, we got to play first. So, once we start playing, once we start establishing ourselves on the court, then we're able to see those things. But, from my point of view, as long as we have the chemistry, the grit to go out there and play each other every night, just have the ability to compete, that's all that matters.
You talked about the chemistry. How do you take a bunch of transfers with freshmen and a couple returners and build that chemistry pretty early on?
I give credit to the coaching staff to doing that. Just having a collective unit of guys, who basically love each other and who have the capability to go out there and play together. Usually that's very hard to do, but with this year's group, I feel like we have that. With young talents and also transfers. So, and with all heads like me, who try to keep the tradition going. So, yeah.
Well, how different is the start of this year compared to the start of your first year, just from a nerves, excitement, all that kind of stuff standpoint?
It's different. As far as first year, I don't know, Key, how do you feel? But for me, it's just like I said, man. It's been a long summer, putting all the hours in and everything just to get to this place we are right now, which is the start of the season. So I'm just looking forward to it, having another adventure. So.
Well, what are you seeing from Josh?
Josh kind of reminds me of myself a little bit when I came. Slim, athletic, run up and down, has a lot of raw talent. But, the thing I love about Josh the most is the ability for him to compete, and not only compete, also just the ability for him to just be coachable, listen to everything the coaches have to say, and even from his teammates and his peers. So I can definitely love that about Josh, but it's going to be exciting to see him play too.
Keontae, when y'all were in Canada, y'all didn't have LJ, Adam, I guess Langston, none of them playing. How much fun has that been for you just to play with them, but also compete against them in practice and stuff?
It's been fun. Last year I was just watching them play, but it's a different type of vibe being able to play with high-level guys like that, like you named. So it's been fun being able to compete against them, get the chirp, but at the same time, it's getting us better. So with guys that can shoot the ball that well, create, for others and create for themselves, there's so much space on the floor for us to create. So, coming from high school, kind of being that guy to, being able to, fit in the role and learn your role, it's been an experience and it's been fun playing against those guys and playing with them so far.
How hard has that transition been for you to go from being the guy, being the main scorer, to having so many other weapons around you?
It wasn't that hard. I feel like IMG really prepared me, having high level guys, beside me. So coming here, with high level guys, high level bigs, it wasn't that hard, find my role that I wanted to be in, and just embrace my role. So, just coming here, with open ears, being coachable, willing to learn, this transition has been really easy for me.
Keontae, how important has Adam been kind of as a leader for that guard room?
He's special. I've been learning a lot from him. Just asking him questions, how the environments are, what he sees on the floor, just asking him questions. But, mainly, it gives me my chance to speak to him too. Let him know what I see on the floor, and that's what I love about him. His, willingness to listen to me, even as an 18-year-old, he's been, doing this for a long time. So for him to have, that patience with me, it's a blessing.
Keontae, from both a personal and a team view, what would you characterize as a success that you come out of the first game with?
Just playing hard. That's really the main thing. Every possession matters. So I feel like, my personal goals for that game is just, every possession play hard. And then, of course, coming out to win. And also ultimately, have fun, play with joy. Embrace our culture that we have, and we just see where the chips fall. But when we embrace each other, embrace the staff, we should have a lot of fun.
Thanks, guys.
Appreciate it.
So, all right, where you guys want to start?
Well, how's practice going, and you feel like you guys are ready to start?
Well, I think the first thing when it comes to practice, every coach prays you don't have a season-ending injury, and we haven't had that. Like everybody, you have some people banged up, and but excited to play somebody else, and excited that we got a healthy group and a competitive, deep group, which makes practices really fun, and you get better in practice each and every day.
You feel like this is going to be a pretty deep squad?
Yeah, the great thing about the Canadian trip is it got a lot of the first timers experience with the Baylor uniform, running the offense, defense, gave them experience. The only negative is we had so many people out. You still have to blend the chemistry. So I think first month of season we'll be trying to figure out rotation-wise who plays best with who, and what lineups are most efficient and work well together. So like everybody else in college basketball, that's what you do. That was the only negative maybe with Canada, is you could have even jump-started that if you had everybody healthy there.
At this point in the year, I mean, do you feel like you kind of have a starting rotation set, or some of those rotations felt out, or is it still just going to be the first few weeks, that's the whole thing?
Well, I think if you look, the last 3 years, winningest Power 5 program in the country, and a big reason is it wasn't a starting five, it was more a starting rotation, and you had 8, 9 players that really contributed, and multiple six-man of the year winners, and at the end of the day, our starting rotation has been our success. So with that comes the challenge to find out just who plays best with who, when, what parts of the game. Some people are better off the bench, some are better starting. So we'll figure that out. We do have, Adam and LJ and Langston didn't do contact really until September for the most part. So they're still getting in the groove of things. And I think Langston will be a different player in a month from now than he is first game, and he's doing a great job progressing. It just takes time coming back from an injury like he had.
Scout, Keontae, highest ranked recruit in program history. How has he blended in? I mean, sometimes that can be an issue.
Yeah, well, first we wouldn't have brought him in if we didn't think he fit and represented Baylor University and the character we were blessed to have with our student athletes. And the best thing about Keontae, the two things that stand out: one, he's a great teammate. Sometimes to a fault, he'll be unselfish just because he wants to be a great teammate. And the second thing is he wants to be coached. He wants to improve. He wants to get better. And sometimes when you're ranked real high, or you get that negative word entitled in there, and those players are tough to coach because it's more about themselves, and they don't feel like they need to improve, and everybody needs to improve and needs to get better. And it's a big jump playing against 18-year-olds compared to 23-year-olds, and with COVID, 24-year-olds because of the exceptions. So that is an adjustment, just like if they were playing against 12-year-olds last year.
Coach, what would you consider a successful first game for you all?
Well, I think really early in the year, you're more concerned with how your team executes. First of all, like defensively, are we on point with our assignments? Do we know what we're doing on our coverages and calls? And then do you show the habits that you've been practicing as far as the rebounding, the get back guys? Are you taking care of the basketball? Are you taking the right shots? Is the offense, are you executing it like we're trying to? And so two scrimmages help. You're able to find out some areas you need to get better at, and you see some things. But it's always a little different when the lights come on. Some players play a little bit better, some play a little worse, and there's a definitely a different vibe and energy when you step out in front of fans.
Coach, Flo gave you the coaching staff credit for being able to blend this team of guys who maybe didn't know each other that well coming in. Over the years, as college basketball has changed, how have you guys developed a plan?
Great question. So I think Flo back to the players deserve a huge amount of credit for that, because when we bring in recruits, their feedback and them getting the ones they want and then passing on the ones that maybe they don't feel fit the team as well. So I think that interaction and feedback is so critical, because at the end of the day, we might think someone would fit in, but the locker room is so important to team success, and you got to have guys that your team wants to be teammates with. And when you're in a foxhole, the more you love somebody, the more you fight for them, the more you sacrifice for them, and the more you're a great teammate for them when you're not playing, when they're playing well, and all the things that go into forming a great team.
Scott, what are you seeing about Jalen and Caleb, and what do you feel like they're going to contribute?
Well, both of them, the pluses and negatives, I guess, is they blend really well together, because Caleb gives you one thing and Jalen will give you another thing. So you got some one person's a little more physical, a little tougher inside, and others a little more perimeter oriented. So you can adjust it based on what your team needs. Both of them, at the end of the day, you know what you're going to get from them, and each and every day they bring. And you want just that consistency as a coach. You want to know what you're going to get from someone. So coming from two good programs, Coach Pope, Coach Huggins, they've gone through the rigors, they've gone through the wars. So you're not getting as many ups and downs as you do from somebody who hadn't had college coaching like that. At the same time, Jalen led the Big 12 in three-point percentage his freshman year, and he's really shot it well. And somebody that played some point guard in AU, and he's gotten back to handling the ball and doing more of that. And Caleb's somebody that played the 5 at BYU. He's trimmed down and gotten used to playing back on the perimeter, but brings you that physical toughness inside that you need, especially with the Big 12 wars you face each and every night.
Coach, just curious, what are your thoughts on the reports of Gonzaga maybe topping the Big 12 and joining the conference?
Well, you know, the Big 12 has been the best conference in the country, and statistically, analytically, 6 out of the last 9 years, RPI, net rating-wise, 60% of the league, gone to the Final Four since 2004, more than any other league. 3 straight championship games, different teams. No other league's ever done that. So you put all that, and then you take a great team like Gonzaga and the tradition they bring, the winning excellence that they bring. I mean, it is exciting, because in college basketball, you always want to compete against the best, and we have a lot of respect for them. At the same time, we stay in our lane. We let the commissioner do his job. We have full trust in him and the leaders of the Big 12, that they'll put the Big 12 in the best position to be successful.
Coach, you talked about having the right, good people on your roster, but do you also have guys who have that competitive edge, maybe are okay with being the villain and help it in that way?
Well, I think the villain might be different if defense and toughness is considered a villain. Hopefully, all our guys are villains. But as far as do we have guys that value the winning plays that aren't statistically charted? Yeah, we do. And I think if you're someone that wins, you have to embrace that, and you have to do that. And as coaches, we have to recognize that, honor that, and reward that with playing time.
So you touched on those scrimmages. Was there something in those games that stood out to you that maybe kind of surprised you a little bit?
I think our offensive execution is probably further along. We've done a great job taking care of the basketball, and that's something normally you don't get till later in the year. Defensively, we were able to cause turnovers, but at the same time, we had some rotation breakdowns that hopefully we'll be better at when games start. And then it's been a trademark for us, rebounding. We've been so good offensively rebounding, and that's an area we've spent a lot of time focusing on this past week because we got to be better there.
Still get those nerves and butterflies as much this year as you do year one?
You know what? Before every game, you step out on that court, you're nervous, you're excited. If not, you're in trouble. So because you got to have that energy and excitement to play well and to perform. And as coach, you don't want to let the team down. And players, hopefully, they don't want to let each other and us down. And the first time you step out there and the band's playing, and I mean, we'll be the first game in college basketball. Tip of the spear, hopefully get it started out right. Scream game, it'll be exciting. I know we've had a great season ticket renewal and more season tickets purchased than ever before. So that's so important for us winning at home, and why we've been the winningest Power 5 program in the country is because of the great fan support we've had at home.
Scott, who are the scrimmages against?
We scrimmaged LSU and Texas A&M.
Also wanted to ask you about John. How's he coming along and
Yeah.
expectations?
Yeah, thanks for asking. There is no expectations as far as a time to return, but each and every day, there's nobody rehabbing and doing more than him, and he always does it with such a smile and so upbeat. And I know everybody on the team just gets excited when he's around because the energy he gives and the excitement he gives and the leadership. Well, so that's a little tricky because without exhibition games, you don't have any film, and then new coach, so a lot of new players. So this game for us will have to be more based on our habits and doing what we need to do, and at the same time, we'll show them whatever film we can. If it's from high school, the team they played at last year, or with them at Mississippi Valley. But that makes it tough on the first game as far as scouting wise. Once people play a couple games, you get a true sense of who they are and what they do.
Thanks, Scott.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.